Welcome to the latest edition of Wrestling with the Odds, the show where we take you through the betting odds of every major wrestling pay-per-view / premium live event. This weekend we have WWE Elimination Chamber from Montreal. Jeremy Lambert of Fightful.com. I'm Jarrett Bailey. It's good to see you, buddy. How are you?
It's good. You missed last show. You were off doing, combine. You're at the Senior Bowl, right? Hanging out with Tony Khan.
I was, yeah. That was a fun little coincidence that I ran into him, which made my week. But yeah, no, that was fun at the Senior Bowl. And then, yeah, I just saw his very recognizable head of hair. And I was like, oh, what you look at that? It was Tony Khan. So yeah, I went and said hey to him real quick. But yeah, it was a good week. I'm sorry I missed the show.
Oh, it's fine. SB3 filled in, and we talked about NXT, which was a disaster because neither of us watch NXT, and it showed with our bets, which we'll get into. We actually tracked our bets here, Jarrett. So this is a new feature that we'll be introducing to you for this show.
Oh, I'm excited.
We're actually making bets and tracking it. We lost all of our money on the first episode. We got to go back to yeah, we got to go back to Papa Jimmy Van and get some of that money to rebet. We're betting fake money, by the way. I'm not betting real money, as people may have learned from this show or other shows. I lose all my money when it comes to bets.
So speaking of that, you would be so proud of me. You would be so proud of me. I made an NBA first basket bet. I don't really watch the NBA, but I had like a super boost. So I think the odds were boosted to like plus 1,800. So I threw $10 on Derek White to hit the first basket, and there you go, free money for me. It was a good day.
What app do you use?
FanDuel.
Okay, that's what I'm on. I'm on FanDuel. I don't know what I don't get good super boosts like that. I get super boosts like somebody combines to score like 80 points.
I had it because for the Super Bowl they did that Gronk kick thing or whatever, and he didn't make it, so they just gave everybody like a little free thing. So I was like, yeah, what the hell, why not see what happens? And would you look at that?
Oh, gotcha. So
now,
all right,
I know we're gonna go off track for a minute here because I'm gonna tell you what I bet tonight because I just wanted you to know about it. So I had like $16 left in my account. I was like, all right, yeah, what the hell, why not? So I did a first basket of Brooke Lopez, Anthony Edwards, and Josh Okogie. I don't know. I probably just butchered his name.
No, you got it. Josh Okogie. I think it's a Kogi, but
okay, close enough. $5 to win 2,800. And
hey,
Bulls Bucks has started, and the Bulls have 3 points. So I'm assuming Brooke Lopez did not score the first basket. So that is in the garbage. But I do have a $10 7-leg parlay to win 3,000. So fingers crossed.
I do the big parlays, the big like 8 leg parlays. That's the first basket stuff. I don't mess with that. That scares me too much.
Oh, I throw hardly any money on those every once in a while just to see if they hit.
Right, because they're huge odds. It's like plus 1,300. Like for certain players too. So yeah, it's huge odds. I'll tell you, I did win a Super Bowl bet. It was a prop bet. I was very happy to win. Chiefs defensive touchdown. I bet. I bet $2 on that and won $14 on a Chiefs defensive touchdown.
Glad to see you a real high roller.
Yeah. I don't think I've bet more than I have bet one thing because I had a bunch of free bets and I rolled big and I just bet like all like 190 on my free bets of it. And I ended up doubling that up. And I'm like, all right, I'm good on that. And this was not like a big 5, 6, 7, 8 leg parlay thing. This was a 2-win. It was like money line Auburn and money line Marquette basketball, and so the parlay ended up being like plus 110 or something. So it was very minuscule, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. Free bet. Let's just go for it. And I went for it, and it hit, and that's about as high as I'm ever going. And that's only because it was a free bet. I was not spending my own money on that. I could never bet that much money. I got kids, Jarrett Bailey. Could you imagine I'm gambling away my kids' future? Can't do that.
I don't have kids, so
if I didn't, I'd be a little bit more free with it. Like, sure, like I'll do this. As Sean has said, I got gold scooters and everything that I could be, willing to toss out there. But I got to think of the kids first. I can't be just throwing $100 bets out there like it's nothing and then hoping for the best.
That's a fair point. We'll see if we can make money on Elimination Chamber. We'll start with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley. Why not?
There we go. The odds are courtesy of BetOnline.ag, everybody. So everybody can go there to make their bets. BetOnline.ag. As always, please bet responsibly. Don't blame us if you lose. Please give us all your money if you win. Bobby Lashley at plus 140, Brock at minus 200. I think Brock's winning this match, and I wouldn't mind like a parlay with him and somebody else to like bring that down a little bit, because I think Brock's going to win this match. He did beat Lashley last time in Saudi, I think it was. And then, but he got his ass kicked the entire match and like got a fluke win and then still beat him up after the match. He did lose last year at the Rumble. So I think they're 1-1. This feels like a Brock win going into Mania, and then whatever they end up doing with Brock at Mania, which I don't even know what they're doing with Brock at Mania at this point. I don't know what they're doing with Lashley either. This feels like a Brock win though.
I mean, I wonder if they would just run it back at Mania, honestly, because everybody has been kind of clamoring for Brock and Gunther, which I think would rule. But all signs point to that not happening potentially. So, I mean, if they were to do Brock and Bobby again, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. I see some value though with Bobby Lashley winning, because if they did want to run this again at Mania, I mean, that would be the perfect excuse to where, Brock would be like, all right, one more time, or whatever the hell they'd want to do. But you can make the same argument on the other end though. But yeah, plus 140 odds for Bobby. If they were trying to give him some sort of push, I mean, a win over Brock would certainly do that, especially on a stage on the road to WrestleMania. So yeah, plus 140 odds for Bobby. I do see some potential value in that, especially if you wanted to parlay it with something else. This is, it's up in the air. I'm not, pounding the table saying this guy's definitely going to win one way or the other. I think either way you can build something off of whomever does win, especially if, like I said, this is what they want to culminate at Mania.
I agree with you that there's value in Lashley, especially if they are going to do the rematch at Mania. It's some type of gimmick match. They love their last man standing matches. Maybe they go there with Brock and Bobby. Maybe even some type of they bust out the fight pit not too long ago for Seth and Riddle. Like maybe they bring that back for Lashley and Lesnar. I could see something like that for these two in a Mania rematch. And if that happens, then yeah, going Lashley at plus 140 ain't too bad, honestly. So I think either way, if you feel confident in Brock, parlay him with somebody, and if you feel confident in Lashley, lay some money down on him.
Brock and Bobby WrestleMania Nigerian drum match.
That's a real thing, wasn't it?
Everybody's it was who was it? Apollo and Big E.
Was it Big E? Oh man,
I thought it was Big E. Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah,
for the IC title a couple years ago.
Yeah, pretty sure you're right. I had no recollection of that, but geez, yeah, thanks for bringing that
up. You weren't
up.
missing much.
I think that was the debut of Commander Aziz, honestly.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. That's the same man. I don't know if it was on the same night, but it was the same Mania where Randy and Bray Wyatt had that turd of a match as well with the giant.
Oh, that's one of the greatest matches ever.
Oh Christ!
It wasn't. I don't think it was the same night. Maybe it was, because I feel like that was night 2, Apollo and Aziz, or Apollo and Big E.
Was Randy and Bray not night 1 of that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't think it was the same night, because I think Randy and Bray was night 1. Yeah, I think Randy and Bray was night 1. I could be completely wrong. I don't remember. I can't. I always say I don't remember what I had for breakfast. You can't expect to remember a WrestleMania from 2 years ago.
Either way, though, yeah, this is one that's kind of up in the air, and you can kind of go either way with it. If you do see, Bobby, some more value in Bobby at plus 140, completely understandable. But if you did want to parlay something later with Brock, I mean, there's definite value in that as well. We can go to the.
We are now Indeed, apparently.
We are, apparently. How fun. You are Righteous Reg.
There we go. I am. Everyone watch Indeed here on Fightful Overbooked. It was on last night with Reg and Mike. Everyone go watch that show.
We can go on to the apparently now annual Edge and Beth Phoenix intergender tag match when they take on Finn Balor and Chris Motionless, or Rhea Ripley. at
Doesn't she
Elimination
get mad
Chamber.
about that? I feel like she got mad about that. Of like,
Nah, she's a big Motionless in White fan. They do her entrance
oh,
theme.
I think it
She's
was all
often
right. It was some other wrestler who was like
she's
mad
often
about
quoting Chris Motionless and Motionless in White lyrics in her Instagram posts. So yeah, I mean, I don't recall her getting mad at it. I think that's kind of what she's going for with that look.
All right, I apologize to Rhea Ripley. I think it's some other indie wrestler who I don't recall. Rhea Ripley seems like the coolest person in the world, so I definitely don't want her mad at me because I think Rhea Ripley is awesome.
I don't know if there's a like more hot couple in wrestling than her and Buddy Matthews.
He's jacked. What a
He's huge. Good Lord.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Edge fan in the world. I've called him a little bitch on more than one platform and occasion.
Aren't you?
No, I don't like Edge. I'm a Christian guy. Always been a Christian, Mark.
You're breaking the little heart of Tempest if he's watching this.
Oh, I'm sure he's not watching. I don't like fully have anything against Edge. I've kind of worked myself into a shoot with this calling him a little bitch thing all the time and like calling him out and stuff. I do find it hilarious that like he'll block somebody like Chris Mueller, who's like the nicest guy in the world on Twitter, and like he's never blocked me on Twitter, and I've legitimately tagged him like calling him a little bitch and stuff, and he doesn't block me, but I guess he'll search for something Mueller said, and he's like, when Mueller was just like, oh, not really feeling this Edge match, and Edge is like, oh, you're blocked.
I mean, I'm not a big fan of short hair Edge. I don't think it's a great look. I was pretty bummed out when he cut it, and the thing that he's rocking right now, it's in that weird stage of like you can tell he's trying to grow it back out, but it's not long yet, and it looks awful. Outside of that, no, I'm a big Edge guy.
Christian, I was always a bigger Christian fan. Again, I have no issues with Edge. I've worked myself into a shoot with a lot of this stuff, but I'm always going to lean towards Christian. That's really what it stems from. Is I'm just going to lean towards Christian.
# keep edging.
Sure, always keep edging, folks. Odds. Let's get on track here, Jarrett Bailey. Minus 300 for Edge and Beth Phoenix, and Finn Balor and Rhea are locked. I will say, so we're recording this on Thursday night. So as of Thursday night, they have locked odds. On Wednesday, the odds were at Edge and Beth at minus 400, Finn and Rhea at plus 250. So they've clearly shifted, and they've shifted to where Edge and Beth are a little less of a favorite. I imagine that means they've shifted more in the favor of Finn and Rhea to where they might be at plus 150 if I'm just mathing here. In that case, like, even without these odds, I kind of think Finn and Rhea should win. I think Rhea should pin Beth because she's about to have the big Mania title match.
And I think Rhea should pin Edge.
Oh, that's so much better. Yeah, Rhea should pin Edge. You're right. Rhea should 100%.
I don't think that they're gonna win. I do think that this is just like the time of year where Edge is like, I want to do a match with my wife and I want to win, and it's gonna be at the expense of Finn Balor again, because apparently this feud's never gonna end. So yeah, I think the odds kind of tell the story here. Whatever the odds are gonna be for Finn and Rhea, I don't think they're winning. I think they should win. I don't think they're going to though.
I don't know. I'm not opposed to placing some money on Finn and Rhea in the principle, the theory that I have of like Rhea's got a big title match at WrestleMania. I understand Finn I can't see Rhea taking the loss. That'd be stupid. I understand Finn would probably take the loss in this matter, but I think it serves more purpose if Rhea pins Beth Phoenix. It serves more purpose if she does pin Edge, but you're right about that. But if she pins Beth ain't sticking around for the long haul. She can she's a Hall of Famer. She's fine. It'll be okay. Like Rhea pinning Beth is a nice little statement victory going into WrestleMania for her. So I'm leaning towards Finn and Rhea for that. I think there's good value, whatever they're at. I think there's value in them. I legitimately think they're winning this match. I get the point of Edge comes back, does the match with his wife. He wins because happy ending type of thing, but Triple H I feel he's a little bit smarter on that. I feel like he actually has a vision with this stuff, and Rhea's the vision right now.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that. You say you're not big into Edge. I don't think I'm very big into Beth Phoenix, if I'm being perfectly honest.
What's wrong with Beth Phoenix?
She's a good wrestler and whatnot. She's just kind of, I don't need to see her on TV anymore. Like last year, the stuff with like Miz and Maurice, whatever, you can do it as a one-time thing. I don't need this again.
Beth is great.
I'm sure she is. I just don't need to see her on my TV.
You're a hater. Why are you hating Jarrett Bailey?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to. Nothing against Beth Phoenix. I'm sure she's great.
She is.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. All right. Let's see. Let's do the women's chamber match then.
There we go. So we got Asuka, big favorite in this one, as you would expect, minus 1250. Yeah. Then it's Raquel Rodriguez at plus 400, Liv at plus 900, Nikki at plus 1400, Carmella at plus 2000, and Natalya at plus 2500. Look, Asuka, I can't see her losing this thing. If you want to take a shot in the dark with Raquel, and if you think Raquel and Bianca is the WrestleMania match, go for it. This is all Asuka. And I do think that, like I said this on the Spotlight on Thursday, I do think it's a possibility that maybe this becomes a 4-way with Bianca, Becky, Bailey, and Asuka by the time we get to WrestleMania. But if we're looking at strictly just this match, Asuka's winning this thing. I can't see anybody else. Raquel's the only one that I'd give like a little credence to, but this is Asuka right here.
Yeah, I love that they have the odds for Carmella at plus 2000 because she's basically in it because they needed, a sixth person.
Natalya's at plus 2500, largely because it's Canada. You got to have the Canadian girl in there. You got to have the Montreal. I think she's from Calgary, but there's a rivalry there. But you got to have the Canadian girl in this match. They ain't going with Natalya. Liv, if you want to really take a shot in the dark, go with Liv because she did have a good 2022, and they seem.
I would jump on a live grenade for Liv Morgan.
We're talking about betting odds here and winning wrestling matches, Jarrett Bailey, not other stuff.
You're right. No, I think you're right though. I think Asuka's definitely. There's a reason that she's almost minus 1300 odds to win this. I can't see anybody else winning it. I do. I mean, you brought up the Fatal 4-Way thing. The stories can definitely intertwine where they can make that happen, and I wouldn't, be opposed to it. I do want to see Asuka being the one walking away from Mania as champion, though. That is, I think that's what most people want to see. I'd be kind of disappointed if that doesn't happen, and this is kind of the vehicle to get her there.
I mean, I would like to see Asuka win the title as well at Mania. I don't know if that's going to happen either. We'll see kind of what happens if they do go with the 4-way route, or if they just go with Asuka and Bianca straight up one-on-one. We'll see how they go with stuff. But I think that this is Asuka's to lose here. And I was doing a quick parlay math here. So if you parlay Asuka and Brock, who is at minus 200, gets it down to minus 161. Still, not in the plus or anything. But if you want to bring down Brock a little bit, it helps out because. I think Asuka is a pretty sure thing here.
Sure. Yeah, no, I definitely agree on that. And there's no other really viable winners in this. Like you brought up Raquel, sure. Like she's definitely had past 6 months for Raquel have been great. And they're definitely building her up. Similar to the way that they did Bianca. I don't know how you feel about that. I'm a big Raquel fan. And I do think that her moment will be coming in the very near future, but this is very, very clearly Asuka's match to lose.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, to the men's rumble then. And speaking of
chamber, Jarrett Bailey, you're a month behind.
You're right. I'm sorry, the men's chamber. So originally, now I don't know when you made this graphic, Johnny Gargano's odds are currently locked, but they were at plus 1600. Is this updated where they are no longer locked and he's at plus 1600, or have they since been locked?
I made these like a couple hours before we went on air, so I do see that this is now locked on Gargano now. Everything else appears to be the same, but yes, for some reason Gargano's odds are now locked, and he's listed behind Austin Theory. Usually they have this in order from when it comes to the odds, but he's listed under Theory, who is at minus 300. So if that is the case, that they're thinking that Gargano is a favorite over even Seth Rollins here, which I guess that would put Gargano's odds at maybe plus 150-ish, which is a huge jump from
big jump
plus. Because he was the massive underdog. He was the longest shot in this match at 1,600. And if they have him listed behind Theory, again, if that's how they're listing it, then he is locked right now. But if that's how they're listing it behind Theory, that's a massive jump. I don't know what would have changed, but the odds makers might know something that we don't.
I would like to see in this match, like if you wanted to start off the match with Theory and Gargano and also have them be the final two, totally cool with that. Seth can be the third one. But if you want to, we're talking about, building stars and whatnot, and we talk about Triple H's, all the returns that have happened since he's taken over creative. A lot of them have kind of fallen flat. If you kind of want to kind of reinvigorate Johnny Gargano, he had a nice Rumble showing, which would, if he can parlay that into a really good chamber showing, they can build something off that. And obviously they did the brief program with him in Theory when he first came back. I would like to see a little bit more of a push for Johnny Gargano. We know how great he is. We know that he's just a workman's workman when it comes to in-ring work. So I would like to see something like that where even if he doesn't win, I do think Theory's going to win, and that's going to lead to whether it be the Cena match at Mania, which I think everybody's kind of pretty set on. If him winning, now obviously he's going to get a bigger shot for winning the chamber or whatnot. But if after the match he kind of uses that as his way of being able to like call out John Cena, that would be pretty cool. But I would like to see some sort of big showing from Johnny Gargano in this match.
See, I agree, and I thought that's why he would be in this match. I didn't think he was going to win, but I think like this is kind of a showcase match for a lot of these guys. But Gargano's felt kind of cold since coming back. I mean, he came back in like August, and I can't tell you, like, he did the Loomis and Miz thing lasted for about 8 months and is kind of still lasting. Like he hasn't shown like, oh, Johnny Wrestling is back. He's been like that comedy guy that we saw at the end of NXT, which showed that he can do that stuff. But we fell in love with Johnny Gargano because he was a great wrestler, and he has not shown that at all. Bronson Reed has kind of been in and kind of tied with the Miz early and then off television for a little while. Montez, we know he's great. This is going to be a big chance for him to shine. He's going to probably do some cool shit. And Priest, we know they're like high on, but I don't think they're looking to do. I'm almost talking myself into Priest a little bit because I do think they're high on him. And yeah, because like I think he's gonna win a singles title. I'm pretty sure he had the US title.
He had the US title before Finn took it off of him.
Yeah, that was very unmemorable. I can't tell you a single thing he did with that.
It was a good match.
I vaguely remember them feuding a little bit, but sure. I feel like they're gonna heat him up somewhat coming into the fall. So not now, but like kind of after SummerSlam. It feels like he's going to be kind of hot at that period. Seth is going to face Logan at WrestleMania. You don't really need the US title for that match. Although like Logan Paul going after the US championship is a nice little media story type of thing, and they love that stuff. So I can almost talk myself into that. The big story here though is Theory winning, being the best United States champion ever, doing a call out thing, and then John Cena comes out, answers the call, and we get that match at WrestleMania. So I understand why Theory's the favorite here. I would go with Theory. I'm not opposed to Seth. I don't think Bronson has a real chance.
I'm surprised that his odds are that high.
Yeah, I kind of think Montez has a better chance than Bronson, even though
I agree.
Even though Montez is definitely like still kind of doing the tag team thing right now. If you want to talk yourself into Bronson or Priest, talk yourself into Seth is facing Logan, don't need a title. Theory could still be facing Cena, technically don't need a title for that. Like that's a match that's like, okay, the US championship is like cool and it makes sense with the story, but like it's John Cena. John Cena doesn't need to be involved in any type of a title match. No. So if you want to talk yourself into anybody else, you could say like, well, they might just do the big schmoz match at WrestleMania with the US title. And in that case, it would need to be somebody like Bronson or Gargano or Priest. Montez he's probably just going to keep doing tag stuff. So him being the US champion, I don't know if that's the direction they're going right now. That's how I would talk myself into anybody else that's not Theory or Rollins, is if you kind of know what's happening with those two at WrestleMania. Neither of those belts, while they look good for both of those matches, don't technically need the belt doesn't need to be there for either of those matches. You got John Cena, you got Logan Paul. You don't need titles.
Yeah, no, I completely hear you. I do think Theory is winning. If you wanted to parlay that with if you want to parlay that with, I mean, you're really high on Finn and Rhea winning. If you wanted to parlay that, whatever those odds may be when they come back on, I think that could be some decent value. If you want to do that, Bobby or Brock, whomever you're leaning, especially Bobby. Like if you went -300 and +140, I mean, you can get some decent odds in return. So,
Yeah.
keep an eye out for that. And then the creme de la creme of the show, Roman Reigns defending the Universal WWE Championship against Montreal's own Sami Zayn.
The odds are long for Sami Zayn, and I don't
They
know if
sure
they
are.
should be. I don't know if they should be.
You think Sami's winning?
I don't think Sami's winning. I've said all along, as much as I believe Sami Zayn should win, because I think this is a moment that you cannot pass up. And I think you can still tell a perfectly good story coming out of this match with Sami Zayn winning, going into WrestleMania against Cody Rhodes. I said all along that they're going to continue the path that they've gone with Roman and Cody and Sami and Kevin facing the Usos at WrestleMania. I feel like they've had these plans locked in place for a while.
Yeah.
And they're not going to venture from it, and understand why they wouldn't venture from it. But man, Sami is so hot right now, and this is Montreal, and it'd be such a great moment. And like it makes sense with the story. Sami winning makes sense with the story. So I'm just a little surprised that like they are this set on like, yeah, Roman's gonna win this thing. And it doesn't seem like, based on the odds makers, it doesn't seem like there's any budge on like, even though this story is great, even though the moment would be great, the pop would be huge. Sami is so hot right now, doesn't matter. Roman's still winning.
Yeah. And the argument towards that would be like, oh, but think of the nuclear heat on Roman. I'm like, he already has nuclear heat from the Rumble.
Right.
Like, I don't necessarily think that, that's necessary right now. I'm not opposed to, I know many people are. I'm completely not opposed to a triple threat at Mania, because Mania triple threats always fuck, and they're always great.
Yeah.
So, I'm not opposed to Roman, Sami, Cody. And if you still want to put the title on Cody, whatever, that's fine. But the moment, like you said, the moment of this alone would just be like, you want an all-time moment, this absolutely would be one. So I'm not against Roman, Sami, Cody, and Mania. And if you wanted to do it in a way to like, because that would kind of mess up anything with Kevin Owens, and I understand the argument of that, of what you would do next with KO, because he's obviously a very centric part of the story as well. So that is something that would need figured out. But this is too much to pass up. I do think that they are going to pass it up. Like you said, I think Roman is going to win, and it's still going to be Roman, Cody, and then it'll be KO and Sami against the Usos. But the moment alone it just feels too good to pass up.
I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I understand. I think they're going to do it. And I get why they're going to do it, because like Roman and Cody, still a great story. They're still going to have a great story going into WrestleMania. And it's not a down. I mean, it's going from potentially beating Roman Reigns to facing the Usos with Kevin Owens. Like, it's down no matter how you look at it, but it's not like this steep drop for those two. And I said it on Spotlight, but I think that Sami and Kevin against the Usos should headline night one of WrestleMania, because that's still a hot story. And when, assuming Sami and Kevin win, like that's going to be a big moment at WrestleMania as well. But there's so much momentum behind Sami right now.
Especially if at the chamber, Jay, I guess Jimmy won't be there, so that kind of takes away my theory here.
No, we figured this out today. Jimmy can't be there. Jay can technically be there. The thing is like they've always kept it to where when they've gone to Canada, neither of them have been there. So the assumption is always like, oh, neither of them are going to be there. But Jay can actually be there. He needs some type of like permit or some type of paperwork. Jimmy a little bit harder, and they did on SmackDown. Heyman told him like stay at home. Like get a TV perspective. But there's a strong possibility Jay shows up and does end up costing Sami this.
And then that would transition perfectly into KO and Sami against the Usos at Mania,
Exactly.
which I get. So, which again, like you said, is it a fall off? Obviously, yes. It's going from the world title to the tag team titles. But like you also said, the story in and of itself has kind of elevated the tag titles as well. So I would like to see them, if that is the route that they're going, which I do believe that is the route they're going. If they would headline night one, that would be very cool. And if anybody, every one of them deserve it. The Usos, Sami, Kevin, like all of them have made this, the best storyline in WWE in God knows how long. So giving them a main event on night one, I think, is very well deserved, and still a really good story to tell. Obviously, I know that a lot of people, you and myself included, want to see Sami as the champion. But if it does end up being Sami and KO against the Usos, I'm not necessarily going to be like, oh my goodness, really? Like, I still think it's still gonna be great.
At plus 700, like I'm not opposed to a little something on Sami if you think that, like,
yeah, if you want to throw like a tenner on Sami to win 70, why not?
Yeah, like, hey, like maybe they'll do it. Maybe they will actually do this here. Roman at minus 2,000, unless you're gonna parlay it with somebody. Like if you're just gonna go like an all favorites parlay, then like
even
Brock,
then, you still gotta throw astronomical money on that.
Yeah. If you have Brock on there, like Brock helps you out a little bit. If you do like Brock, Asuka, Theory, Roman, I would kind of stay away from Beth and Edge. I'm not high on them winning it, so I don't feel they should be the favorites, especially at minus 300. Brock a little bit more understandable at minus 200. I feel like that's closer to a pick 'em, but I'm a much higher on Rhea and Edge, or Rhea and Finn winning that match.
I mean, I want them to, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the way that they've used Finn Balor, especially since they started this whole Judgment Day thing, is all right, be very fun on TV, lose on pay-per-view.
Yeah, fun. It's true. And I understand the thinking of Edge and Beth. They get their moment, they win, they get their happy couple moment in Montreal. Makes sense. I don't care. Fuck those moments. At least this one. I say fuck those moments as I'm pitching for Sami Zayn to win in Montreal for that reason. But for Edge and Beth Phoenix, don't care. Put Rhea Ripley over.
At the very least, I want to see Sami Zayn come out to his old theme and his old getup. Yeah, maybe with his haircut and his beard trimmed some. That would be a nice little touch.
I don't know. I don't want the beard and the haircut. Speaking of,
don't you? I like short hair, short beard Sami Zayn.
See, I like Sami Zayn where he's an unkempt mess, because that's very relatable to me, as people can tell every time they see my face on this.
Have I ever shown you the picture of Viking me?
I don't know, but that sounds amazing.
I'll pull it up right now and I'll put it up to the screen. Everybody.
Viking Jarrett Bailey. Oh boy.
Oh dude, it was a time. This was like here we go. Ready?
Yes. Oh, what?
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'll get it out of the ring light. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. That's a look for you, Jarrett Bailey. That's a look for you.
It took some time. I don't know if I'm dedicated enough to do that again, but that was like post breakup Jarrett, and I didn't care about anything, so I was like,
you could pass for an emo kid on that. I can see that.
Pass for an emo kid. Oh, I am one.
That's true. Your music choice does pretty much.
I wear leather jackets, nose piercing, rings, my music taste. I would be perfect for central casting for like a CW generic bad boy. That'd be my second career.
Jarrett, last time when you were not here, SP3 and I bet Jimmy Van's fake money and lost just about all of it. But we went back to Papa Jimmy, got some more fake money. I'm going to pull up the betting list that we have here, our bet sheet. It's not professional at all. As you can see, it's just a Word document. So we had $100. We kind of got screwed on Grayson Waller. I will say that, because we were high on Grayson Waller when we thought it was a cage match and it was escape the cage. We thought that Waller might win by escaping, so that way you didn't have to pin Braun Breaker, which in theory makes sense. The day of the show, they made it not escape the cage. You could only win by pinfall or submission. And then we were like, well, we're screwed now because he ain't pinning or submitting Braun Breaker. we're contesting that should be void because we got screwed over with a late stipulation.
I think that you have a very formidable case there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Roxanne won, Carmelo Hayes won, but Casey Squared lost and screwed up our parlay. So we lost that one. We bet $10 on New Day just to bet $10 on New Day, and they lost. But we did get $20 on the payout for Gallus, and then Chase U also lost. We just tried to spend all of our money. Typically, you're not going to hedge a lot of this stuff by betting on 3 of the 4 teams in a 4-way match or anything like that. You just would want to bet on one team. But we have $20 left, Jarrett Bailey. We have $20 to bet on this show. We're going to try to keep it to where we keep betting until we actually, lose all of our money, and then we do need to reset, and we'll get $100 back. We have $20 to bet on Elimination Chamber. What are we thinking?
All right, so let's try to build like a foolproof parlay here. Let's throw in Asuka.
Okay.
Let's put Theory in there too. So Asuka and Theory as both chamber winners.
All right. I'm hesitant on Theory. I don't know why.
I'm really not. I do think that he's all right. So here's what we'll do. I'll add all this up. What was Asuka? 1250?
1250, yep.
Okay. So let's see. 1250. And then Theory was 300.
Yep.
Then minus 300. All right. Now we need something. We need something big. Are you leaning more toward Bobby or Brock? You're leaning more toward Brock, right?
I'm leaning more towards Brock, yeah.
We can go Brock minus 200.
Okay.
All right, so at this point, the parlay is plus 116. I think that's pretty good.
All right, you want to bet all $20 on this?
We'll go 20, and then that will win us.
You said this is plus 116?
Plus 116, so bet 20 to win 23.20.
Bet 20.
I'm dead set on Edge and Beth winning, but I know you're not, so we can't go in.
Yeah, I'm not sold on Edge and Beth, honestly. I'm not. I like this is gonna be our bet. This is what we're rolling with here. So we can hopefully build up to 43.20, or we lose all of Jimmy Van's fake money and gotta ask him for more.
Yes.
I kind of like a Brock Rhea Finn parlay.
Let's see.
I kind of like that.
Okay, Brock is minus 200.
Rhea Finn's locked right now, so that's
right.
Right. Of this. Again, it was at plus 250 yesterday, or technically Wednesday. So if Edge and Beth was at minus 400, now Edge and Beth is at minus 300. If you're gonna math things, if they're at plus 150, so let's say Brock's minus 200, Finn and Rhea are at plus 150.
That takes us to plus 275. So if you bet 20, you win 55.
All right. So it's a little bit better odds, but I understand you're not quite as sold on Finn and Rhea.
I can be talked into it. Like, would I be like totally shocked if Finn and Rhea won? No, because of the things that you mentioned. They're trying to really build up Rhea and whatnot. Finn really needs a premium live event win. Like, give him a win over Edge. Who cares? This is a nothing match.
Right.
If you
we'll go. See, I'm very sold on Asuka. Like, it feels like Asuka's got to be included somewhere in there, because that's her odds are super long, but like it helps a little bit that when you're parlaying it with all of this.
Right.
I'm very sold on Asuka. Theory, I can almost talk myself out of, but yeah, I get why he would win. And then I'm pretty confident on Brock.
Yeah, I'm like 52-48 Brock.
Do you want to do, and this, like, we're losing money guaranteed here, so I don't know if it makes a ton of sense. Do you want to do 10 on this and then 10 on a Lashley and Finn and Rhea bet?
I'm not against that.
Okay.
So Lashley is what, plus 140?
Yeah.
And then plus 150 for Rhea and Finn. So that would be plus 500. So if we bet 10, we'd win 50.
Okay, so we bet 10 to win 50. Okay. What does it go down to when we only bet 10 on our first parlay?
Let me check. First one.
I assume you just knock off $10. So it said you bet 10, you win 13.20 is what I would imagine.
That's probably, yeah, math.
Yes.
So, I mean, the possible payout here would be like, there we go. Well, wouldn't it be 23.10 then?
Yeah, you're right.
So a total possible payout of like 83.20 from this.
Well, we can't win both parlays because Lashley or Brock has to.
Oh yeah, you're right. All right, well, fingers crossed.
Yes, yeah, we can't win both parlays. We're either coming away with $3 extra because we started with 20 and the payout is 23.10, or we're coming away with $40 extra, or we might come away with absolutely nothing because Asuka, Theory, and Lashley could win, and then that fucks us all over.
Yeah, it very much would.
Or Finn and Rhea and Brock could win. It's going to kind of hinder on that or that Lashley and Brock match.
Yeah. Then we're gonna have to ask Papa Jimmy for more money.
Or Lashley and Edge and Beth will win, and then that screws us over. So
yeah,
this is the risk you take when you're betting, folks.
It sure is. I wonder, just for shits and giggles, we can look at something involving Sammy.
Okay.
So let's see, plus 700 for Sammy, and then plus we can keep Rhea and Finn in there because why not? If you just did Sammy and Rhea and Finn, assuming that they're plus 150, that's plus 1900.
That's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, it's not bad. I kind of like that. I mean, just as like that's one of those things where I would throw like $1 on with my risk averse betting.
$1 to win 19.
Yeah, that's 100% what I would do. I don't bet big at all. Legit, I do not bet big at all. I told everybody at the top of the show, my bets are big time parlays for $1, and I just hope that all 12 of those legs end up hitting. That's my game.
I do want to update you on my other parlay that I have going and get your thoughts on it. So I have Zach LaVine to score 25 plus points.
Okay.
I've got Giannis under 34.5. It is currently 5:58 left in the second. He has 2 points. Feeling good about that.
Really? Wow. That's going to screw up a parlay for me, I feel like.
I'm sorry. I've got, good Lord, the Timberwolves are beating the Wizards 30-10. I've got Bradley Beal to score over 22.5. That looks horrifying right now. I mean, it's only the first quarter. He's only got 2 points, though. I've got Kyle Kuzma under 20. Yeah, he should. I felt that number was low. I got Kuzma under 22.5. He's got 3, so I feel good about that. I need Mike Conley to score 10 plus, though. That's the big one. That's scary.
Yeah, that one's tough.
And then Paul George to score 20 plus, and then I did a first basket. I need Josh Okagi to score the first basket.
I don't know about that. I don't know if Josh Okogie's gonna score the first basket. Giannis only played 9 minutes. Did he get hurt? I'm a little concerned.
That's what I'm thinking. Unless they're just resting him for All-Star.
Which is fair. Like, they're facing the Bulls and they're beating the Bulls as it is. So, like, it's fine.
As like a somewhat still Bulls fan, this is a disappointing year.
Giannis heading to the locker room holding his wrist. Not great. That's going to screw up a lot of parlays.
It's going to help mine. I hope Giannis is okay.
I'll tell you, I'll give out my bets here because they're not good and they're going to lose, and no one should take betting advice from me, as I say on a betting show where I tell everybody to take my betting advice.
I still have $1 left. Did they just give me $1?
The Gronk payout stuff was weird. Like, it was weird. Yeah, it felt like it was like all over the place.
Bro, all right, I'm just gonna go ham with this last $1. Clippers Suns. It's a pick'em. I'm going to take Should I take the Clippers or the Suns? You know more about basketball than I do.
I'm kind of leaning towards the Suns in this game.
Okay. You know what? I might just go alt spread and do like Clippers +6.
There you go. So my bet was Brook Lopez over 13.5 points. He's already got 21. So
okay.
Zach LaVine, 30+ points. I don't know how great I'm feeling about that. Grayson Allen, under 3.5 rebounds. He's got 2. So Giannis being out like changes that completely.
Right.
Nikola Vucevic, 10+ rebounds. It doesn't have the line for that kind of stuff. Giannis at over 5 assists. He had 3 when he played in 9 minutes. That would have been an easy hit. And now that's going to screw everything up if nothing else does. Ayo Dusame, over 3.5 assists. He's got 1. Levine over 2.5 threes. He has 0. And Brook Lopez over 1.5 threes. He's got 3. So Brook Lopez, as always, doing me the favor here. But the Giannis injury screws up everything because he would have hit assists, and I would have felt a lot better about Grayson Allen if he was there. But Zach LaVine's got to pick it up because he ain't scoring over 30 if he hasn't made a single 3 yet.
Yeah, that is true. I'm doing rebounds right now. Who's going to get 6+ rebounds?
Kawhi.
6+ rebounds for Kawhi. It's +100.
Really?
I'll take
feel
that.
Like that's good.
Okay, I'll take that. Why not? I'll take your word for it. Do I want to throw a first basket in here? Who's going to score the first basket? Let's see. DeAndre Ayton's +350. Booker's Paul George +550. All right, throw that on there. All right, let's go player points. Kawhi over under 24.5.
24 against the Suns. I'm leaning towards over. He's usually reliable for like 25, especially in a big game like this against the Suns.
Paul George over 20.5.
See, I always lean over. I'm very bad at betting unders. That's my issue. I'm very under scared.
Let's see who else they've got. Devin Booker's 24.5. I feel like that's.
I feel like Devin Booker's dropping 30 in this game.
Eric Gordon's 10.5. Eric Gordon's still playing.
He's good. Eric Gordon's.
I feel like Eric Gordon's been in the league forever.
Kind of, yeah.
Jesus. All right, let's see who else. Mason Plumlee 7.5.
I don't know about that.
There's a guy named Bones Highland.
Oh, Bones Highland, former Denver Nugget. He got traded at the deadline. He kind of rules.
Over under 10.5.
Probably under. I've not seen him much on the Clippers yet. He just got traded literally a week ago. So
okay.
Not seen him, but probably under.
All right.
He's a chucker though. Like he'll get his shots up.
Okay. You know what? I might just say hell with it and throw over 10 for Bones, just because great name.
I like it.
And then all right. So right now, $1 would win about 277.
Go for it.
Who else can I do? DeAndre Ayton will go over 16.5. That'll not do anything because I already bet his points. Chris Paul. Oh, come on, Chris Paul. Get me 12 points. Can you do that, bud?
Chris Paul is usually good for that 12 to 15 range.
Yeah. Chris Paul, how old is he?
36.
Jesus. You go, Chris Paul.
37.
Jesus. Yeah. I'll go easy 7.5 assists for Chris Paul.
Yeah, 7.5 assists. That should be pretty easy.
That's light work for Chris Paul. And then we'll do DeAndre Ayton, 8.5 boards.
That should hit.
Okay. Throw this all together in a big $1 parlay to win about 500. Let's go for it.
All right. What's my cut of that if this hits, Jarrett Bailey?
You know, I guess you kind of deserve a little bit of a cut after that, huh?
Yeah.
We'll say, I don't know, $40 sound.
All right, that's fine. I was fishing for anything, so I'll take anything.
There we go.
I'll take it. All right. You gotta let me know if that wins. I don't remember any of that, what that bet was, but it could be over again within the first second if Paul George doesn't score the first basket.
Yeah. So. Oh, yeah, that's true. We did throw a first basket. That's what got the odds all the way up. Those first baskets, I tell you.
Oh yeah, the first basket will boost anything. I can't bet on that stuff. I did bet during the NFL playoffs. I bet on McCaffrey to be like the first touchdown scorer in one of the playoff games, and I hit that one. I felt very good about that. How'd you do on the Super Bowl? Did you win some money?
I was pissed. I won a little bit. I won 95 on like a $5 parlay bet, so that was cool. I needed Kadarius Toney to get to 20 more receiving yards, and I needed Pat Mahomes to have like 60 more passing yards, and I would have won.
I feel like Mahomes passing killed a lot of people because I think everybody was taking the over.
Yeah, the Nick Bolton touchdown and the time of possession for the Eagles definitely swayed the whole, and plus the big punt return from Toney, swayed a lot of field position and whatnot. So, yeah, it did kind of kill a little bit, and I would have won a lot of money had that taken place. But regardless, I did win a little bit, so I can't complain too terribly much.
Miles Sanders killed me with his just complete non-existent performance.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell was up with that.
I didn't even bet him to do much. It was only like over 25 yards, and like he was on the field. I didn't feel like
he'll be a Baltimore Raven next year.
Oh, well, good for him.
Right, if I had to guess, at least.
Let's wrap this up. I appreciate it. Exposing our degenerate gambleism. I don't think that's a word, but I just made it up. Our degenerate gambleism on this show. Let everybody know where they can find you at, Jarrett.
At J Bailey NFL. I talk about wrestling, but yeah, I mean, if you guys know who I am at this point, you know what I do, football stuff. I'll be in the combine for Indy, so if you want football content, I'm going to grill general managers while I'm there. So follow me for that. I did tweet out I want to get credentialed for some sort of wrestling pay-per-view this year. I feel like that would be fun.
I might be able to help you with that. We always have actual professionals go to these things. You're more professional than any. You're more professional than any of us. You can do NFL work and go like you get credentialed to that stuff. We're just wrestling dorks. But I'll let you know if anything comes around your way. The problem is you live sort of close to me, so if you went, then I'd probably.
Are you going to the AEW show in Pittsburgh in April?
Yeah, I plan on it. Are you?
Okay. Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, cool. So, but yeah, if there is a show that like you want to kind of go to, just let me know. We'll figure something out.
Oh, beautiful. But yeah, at J Bailey NFL on Twitter. That's where all my stuff's at.
Everyone, later on tonight, here on this channel, here on Fightful Overbooked, it's not actually tonight because this is the Friday that you are seeing this, and Elimination Chamber is on Saturday. But on Saturday, we do have an Elimination Chamber watch along here on Fightful Overbooked. Cast and crew members of the Fightful family will be there. Jared will be there if you would like to be. We'll send you the link. Not only is it Elimination Chamber, it is New Japan Battle in the Valley as well. New Japan Battle in the Valley starts at 10 o'clock Eastern. So Elimination Chamber will be ending. You'll be in the last hour of Elimination Chamber as Battle in the Valley starts, but we're going to go all the way till the end of Battle in the Valley, which probably end around 1 o'clock. So if you want to come hang out and watch a lot of hours of wrestling with us on Saturday night from about 8 to 1, come hang out with us. We'll be here again, pretty much all night. Otherwise, Tim and Joel and Kate, Joel and somebody will have a new show on Sunday. Coexisting with Rob and Maggie is live on this channel at 3 p.m. Eastern. Check out all the interviews I have done. Everybody has done. Myself and Steven Jensen have done that are up on Fightful Overbooked. And check out Indeed with Mike and Reg that was live last night. Everybody can check that out as well. Guys, we appreciate it. Appreciate the love, support here at Fightful Overbooked. Enjoy the wrestling this weekend. We will catch you for the next premium live event, which I don't actually think is a premium live event because the next time we'll be doing this, Jared, will be Revolution. The AEW Revolution. Yeah. That'll be the next one. All right, everybody. We will talk to y'all then.